welcome to the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, show made for the fans by a fan. I am your host, as always, Richard Tiemann, and this is the award-winning Fan Show. Thank you. Everyone's a fan of something, and we've got something for every fan, and it might help if my microphone was closer to the host of the Fan Show's mouth so that I'm not shouting from a distance. But nonetheless, we are here. It is Thursday. This is the episode to end the week. It's really the last one before a break, really. Well, we'll have a Tuesday episode because we're going to recap the United Bowl. But then we're going to go on a little mini vacation. The show, myself, we've been going nonstop since March. Just go. And once we have crowned a Indoor Football League champion Saturday evening, then we're going to come back to Spokane. I'm going to have an episode on Tuesday, and then we're just going to take a little break. That's it. Nothing's wrong. We're not quitting. There's no eject button. We're not bailing out. It's just that we need a little time, to just sit back, relax, and enjoy things. And then we will come back better than ever. We'll hit it hard, and we'll go again until probably the holiday season, Christmas time. We took a nice little Christmas break last time, but keep in mind, though, the Fan Show has done more and more each year, and it's now 4 seasons, going on its 4-year anniversary coming up this September, actually. And it's something that each year we've taken on more, right? So year 1, I was doing media as a third party for the Spokane Empire. And I was just interviewing players and coaches. I was going to every game. I even went to some games that were away, like in Sioux Falls and Tri-Cities, when Tri-Cities had a team. And then the next year, I decided to try to visit all of them, And so I started the first official Fan Show tour, which I didn't know that's what it was going to be when I first started. That's what it evolved into. And so I decided to start covering the whole league and getting to know these teams more. And then last year we did a bigger and better tour, and I came up with divisions, and we were going to Comic-Cons and Battle Bots. And then this year I got hired to go to College Gridiron Showcase, American football events, all while still doing the tour and going to Battle Bots and going to Comic-Cons. And so each year has gotten a little crazier. And so last year, fun fact for you, was the first time we ever took a break. There have been years where I did a week's worth, maybe 2 at most, a week's worth of what I call Best of the Fan Show, which is compilation episodes of some of the best interviews that I felt that we had done in that last calendar year. And so the first time we did that was great because I had my first interview ever with Steve Ranazisi. Brad Williams was on there. I had one with Mark Istook from NFL Network, Aaron Grahascarelli. And Adam Rank from NFL Network. So it was there were some good episodes, some good Best of the Fan Show. But then, it was still business as usual, still trucking along. And then last year, for Christmas time, was the first time that I ever took like a full-fledged break. And I think we even did do some Best of episodes. But this, I will still be doing my weekly BattleBots specials, which there was a new one posted last night. Go and check that one out. I talked with Matt Vasquez from Team Whiplash. But it's going to be the first time that we're not going to do a live show for, I don't know, it's probably going to be a couple weeks. Want to get some fishing in. I want to relax. I just accomplished going 5 straight classes, getting an A+ in for Full Sail's Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting, and the streak is over. I got an 89.65 for public relations, and I'm not happy about it. I have a certain level of expectation for myself, so I feel like that's a sign. I'm not saying that I half-assed that class, obviously. That class was a struggle, man. There was a lot of detail-oriented things about it, but I think I kept going with the momentum, thinking, I'll just, if the next one, if it's too hard or if I don't have the energy, then after that we'll take a break. And I just kept going because I did way beyond what I thought I was going to do and exceeded my own expectations, all while traveling and still doing the show and doing the top 10 and doing the players of the week and doing the awards. And now that streak of getting 5 A's in a row is over, and I'm now back to one class of vocal training, which I'm very excited for. It's a good opportunity to just be like, okay, let's chill for a minute. Time out for a couple weeks. So don't worry. I had a few people when I was talking to them about it last night. They're like, is everything okay? Like, is something wrong? I get momentum. I love momentum. I'm a momentum guy. When we go into the fall and the winter months for the fan show and I get a cold, I hate those days because I like to be able to do the show at 110%. If I can't, it makes me really mad. So no, nothing's wrong. Don't panic. Just need a little me time. That's it. I just need a little me time. So thank you all for tuning in. I see we've got Adam, we've got Luke. What's up, Luke? Good to see you. And we've got Jason, Brandon. Good to see you. And Adam says relax. I do need to relax a little bit. Luke says, you're a rock star, homie. Take the break, but don't beat yourself up at one course. Truth be told, that drives my wife nuts because I went into this program, this first ever Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. I said, I'm going to be top of my class. I'm going to be the best that you've ever seen. And I'm already at a disadvantage being an online student. But when I visited, I got a lot of praise, a lot of respect from my peers, from my course directors, for the different classes in that program. That it's like, if I'm not getting an A, which... Let's give you some history on me. I've never been on honor roll before in my life. I was for the first time ever when I went to community college to get my small business degree. And because of the last class I took before graduation, I missed getting the honor cords and everything when I walked by, I think, like 0.4 of a GPA. And I was livid. So, sorry, not sorry. I have like this bar and I got to hit it consistently because that's not going to happen again. This is the last school, anything that I do. When I graduate from DP school, that will be probably the single greatest moment of my life and the last time I ever touch anything school related as far as an actual student. Like, the rest of my life will start at that point. So this is the last hurrah, my last chance to get honor society, honor cords, to be the best. And by God, I'm going to freaking do it. So a B sucks. And granted, I would have been tickled at an 89.65 back in high school. By God, that would have been fantastic. But that's okay. You live, you learn, you move on. So we are going to talk about the United Bowl, which 24 hours from now, I will be at Media Day in the 111-degree Phoenix heat. Yeah! Awesome! I know it's indoors, but still, you got to get from the airport to your car, your Uber, and then from the Uber to the actual venue for the event, and you're probably going to melt in between A, B, and C. But I'm excited for it. We get to see the commissioner. He makes an appearance at Media Day. He's there to do the, vote for me, mayor re-election campaign style face appearance, FaceTime. We'll see the coaches from both teams, Kevin Guy, Curtis Riggs. We'll see the starting five, their 5 captains from both teams. And we're going to talk about the game, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe there'll be some breaking news or some updates about expansion, merger. God, there's so many rumors going on right now. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, wanted this episode to be kind of a fun one. We're going to do a lot in the chat. So if you're here and you're watching on Facebook Live, but you haven't shown up in the chat, do it. Jump in. Let's have a conversation. And also, a big thank you to Adam, and a big sorry to you guys. Normally, I do a week of Fan Appreciation Week. We do 3 episodes where I bring on a fan to interview them as my way to give back for Fan Appreciation Week. And it's usually the last week of the IFL season because that's when all the teams are doing their Fan Appreciation Night because it's their last home game of the regular season, so it makes sense. I completely forgot to do that this year. I've just been everywhere. And so I wanted to make up for it. And I have tonight as my special guest, the Fan Show's official. It's not official unless it's Fan Show official. So the Fan Show official top fan of the Fan Show's Facebook page, Adam Lamprecht, he joins me. And that's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him. And for those of you wondering where my fuzzy co-host is, Fozzie, well, he's right there. Yeah. Fozzie. That's Fozzie. Anyway, so Fozzie's here. He's just not here. He's taking a little bit of a cat nap. So let's go ahead and let's hit it. Let's do today's headlines and let's get this thing rolling. Headlines, of course, brought to you by Dynamite Enterprises. They make a lot of cool stuff. I didn't make this. My wife made that, though. That's Fozzie. She went to this pottery class, and she made a shiny pottery Fozzie. So that's cool. I love having that on my desk. And they do make these, though. They make these awesome stickers that you guys have seen. Right now, the Outdoors division is leading the votes for the next T-shirt to be made. So we are looking to probably have a brand new set of shirts made up with this guy right here, the Fan Show Outdoors division logo. And that will be done by Dynamite Enterprises, just like these stickers were done. They do hats, they do shirts, they do jerseys. They can do trophies, plaques, banners, table, runners, all that good stuff. You just got to hit them up. So visit dynamiteenterprises.com, see what they've done, because they continually update it. They're really good about doing that on their Instagram as well, Dynamite Enterprises. And they have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/what? Dynamite Enterprises. And if there's something you want that you don't see, that you're curious about, don't think they can't do it. Just go ahead and reach out to Ethan at dynamiteenterprises.com and say, hey, can you do this? And they'll give it their best shot. And if you're not completely 100% satisfied with the result, he'll do his best to make it right because he's awesome like that. He's actually a CEO to know, featured on iHeartRadio. So that's how big of a deal Ethan is, and he's the only guy I like to work with. And also coming up for the United Bowl. It won't be there at the game, but one will be made, and that is a custom 1-of-1 championship belt by my guys in Undisputed Belts that will go home, or I guess at this point be sent to the home of our Fan Show United Bowl player of the game. So check them out. Get what you need from them, plaques, banners, trophies, or a custom belt. Dynamite Enterprises and Undisputed Belts can do all your needs for office pools, sibling rivalries, fantasy season, or just to have, because you have to have it. All right, so the headlines today is that there's a United Bowl happening, but before we get to that, there's also some big games happening and then big games not happening, and I'll explain what that means. So for the Arena Football League, we have 2 weeks left of the regular season. 3 of the 4 playoff tickets have been punched. We have the Albany Empire, the Philadelphia Soul, and the Baltimore Brigade. They're all playoff bound, and they've got the records to show it. So while Atlantic City, while the Blackjacks are on a bye week with Philly, who they lost to, they now no longer control their own destiny, so they need Baltimore to basically upset Washington. Will Baltimore play its starters? I don't know what's in it for them for this game, but I'm sure they'd like to have the momentum going into the postseason. So if Baltimore upsets Washington, then that means that both Atlantic City and Washington have the same record going into the final week. And that final week has Columbus at Washington, Philly at Albany, and then Baltimore at Atlantic City. So you need kind of this round-robin scenario to happen in order for either team to get in, assuming that Washington were to lose to Baltimore. But if Washington wins, then they're pretty much in, and there's not much that the Blackjacks can do because they're on a bye week. They don't even get a chance to play this week. So your 2 games, Albany and Columbus, Washington and Baltimore, Saturday and Sunday. So again, Saturday the 13th, Washington at Baltimore, the Valor at the Brigade. Sunday, 7/14, Albany at Columbus, the Empire against the Destroyers. And then we have the National Arena League coming up on Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, is the New York Streets against the Columbus Lions. Both teams really need a win for this one for their postseason hopes. And also Saturday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific is the Jacksonville Sharks and the Massachusetts Pirates. That should be a really good one. And then finally on Saturday at, again, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific is the Predators and the Carolina Cobras. So let's talk some United Bowl as we've got some comments here. Let's see. That's the first cat I've ever seen that knows its name. Thanks, Luke. Yes, Fozzie does know his name. And it's because it's either Fozzie or Fozzie! Brr, get out of the garbage! Or whatever cats get into. There are other cats too, says my wife. Yes, more co-host opportunities, but they're not up for the task right now. Fozzie. He's just sitting there. He's like, don't acknowledge me. Oh, anyway. Hey, John, good to see you. And I love you to my lovely wife who's watching it at work, even though she could be watching Netflix like she was earlier. In XFL news. So we were talking about this on the last episode. I said, would the XFL still be going right now, this time next year? The answer is no. I have their upcoming 2020 TV schedule here. Their championship will be Sunday, April 26th at noon Eastern on ESPN. They're doing a 10-week regular season, much like the AAF tried to do and failed to do so. So they are doing a 10-week regular season. The playoffs are Saturday, April the 18th, Sunday, April 19th, and then their championship Sunday, April 26th. So we will have our first, I guess technically second ever XFL champion crowned by this time next year. And then we'll be looking to crown another Indoor Football League champion. We'll be getting ready for the AFL playoffs like we are right now and getting ready for the NAL playoffs. As far as the merger talks, look, there's a lot of tweets going on out there, and I love and thank you guys who have liked my photo of the 3 kids with the fish, which has been like a viral meme factory on the internet lately. And I love it because you got, 2 truths and a lie, right? Or we all know that one kid, or we all have that one family member. So you have the 2 kids holding their fish up proudly, and you have the third one who's got it in his mouth. Like, I don't know what to do. What do I do with my hands? So I made one last night that said the first one is the IFL, the second one's the NAL, and the third one's CIF. And I'm not even sorry about it because that's how I feel. So as far as the merger talks go, I feel like I should make a new one where the first kid is the Fan Show, the second one is LWOS for Last Word on Sports, and the last one is Inside the Arena. Because I don't know where this guy gets his info. Well, probably one of the least credible members of the media out there. I say that like that because I don't know who gives him credit for being media. Even people affiliated with him that I talk to, that I don't know where he gets his info. Sorry. But look, the merger talks, it wasn't going to be a merger. It was one league, like from what I heard, one league was going to basically absorb the other, which I think was what we were talking about was going to happen when there were the IFL CIF talks, which again, a lot of talks, no action. A little less conversation, a little more action is what I would like personally when it comes to this kind of stuff. But this is that time of year where we get a lot of this stuff going around as far as, is this going to happen? What are they going to do? What, who, what, when, where, how? How is a very good question. I don't know how this works because the last person that I talked to, a source within one of the leagues, not just some fan or some third-party media member or journalist, it was that everything looked great. But then when an issue that wasn't an issue came back up again, that's when the talks sort of halted because they couldn't decide on like one little detail. And to me, it's a minor detail because it's just like, I feel it's a given, but to them, I guess it is a much bigger detail than me as a third party would think. So there were talks. There were talks from both sides, but I believe that they have since put on the brakes. Obviously, it's championship weekend for the IFL, so we'll see who shows up. That usually tells us a lot about the upcoming season because we had a few different people in attendance last year at the United Bowl that I was like, what are they doing? Oh, that's why they're here. Like we all have these question marks going into the weekend, and then they can't hide. They could, but they don't. They go out to the field or they show up at media day, and you're just like, so that was true. Or they were way off on that one, weren't they? So that's what I look forward to when it comes to media day and the United Bowl game itself, is to see who shows up, and then you start putting the pieces together. Which, might I remind you, the person that continues to tweet out or post this information, I don't run into them at games. I haven't seen them at a United Bowl. So take it for what you feel it's worth. But I'm actually there, and I actually get to talk to these people and see this. It's not some DM I get in my message. So I will let you guys know as soon as I see or hear anything that's going on. what's going on. But I do hope that the expansion rumors that I've been hearing are in fact true, because that would be great for the people of Spokane, the people on this side, as we hope for westward expansion, i.e. Oakland and Spokane. The last thing I heard about Spokane was that it wasn't really a rumor anymore, that the ownership would be announced at the United Bowl and that the coaches were supposed to meet like 2 weeks from now. But I haven't heard anything more about Oakland, and that was like the one thing that needed to happen for this to happen. So I think we'll probably hear and find out a lot tomorrow at Media Day and at the United Bowl itself. So that's what I'm excited for, to see what we can look forward to next year. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Antonio, I see you. I will miss seeing guys like Antonio, Jen, and the flight crew and everybody else at the United Bowl. I don't know anybody that's traveling as far as from Sioux Falls. I asked around. I didn't hear that there was a lot of people traveling. So that's too bad, because I do like seeing familiar faces and new friends and old friends. It's obviously going to be too damn hot to do an outdoor pregame tailgate, and I don't even know where everybody's meeting up for it pregame. Last I saw in one of the groups, it was pretty much up in the air, to be decided, to be determined. So the United Bowl is, I think, going to be a very good game, like I've said, and I say that with the hope that it is a very good game. But here's what you need to know about this game, and that is that Curtis Riggs has been one of the most well-known and well-respected coaches in the indoor league for a reason. And he's hung around and he's done his thing, and he has built his legacy with Dynasty and done a phenomenal job. And Coach Guy is the same way. Now, Coach Guy is attempting to do it in multiple leagues now. He did it with the AFL, and now he's trying to do it with the IFL. Two championships in 3 years, I think, would probably be well on your way. But these guys, they know how to get here, which is why they are here. And for Arizona in 2017 to go into Sioux Falls and knock off the reigning champion in their house and dethrone them, I think is huge. But don't think that Sioux Falls has forgotten that, because now they have the chance to do that very thing when they go to Arizona. So the Gila River Arena is going to be a rockin' place. It's going to be loud, it's going to be crazy, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A hostile environment, which I think is what a lot of these Sioux Falls players thrive off of. And we're going to see two of the best go head-to-head, and that's Coach Kevin Guy and Coach Curtis Riggs. I wish I could have pinned down Coach Riggs for an interview this week, but man, that guy is everywhere, and that's fine. I don't want to be a distraction or anything, just wanted to chat a little bit. But we will have a champion crowned Saturday night, this time tomorrow, Media Day, and we'll get to pick the brains of players and coaches and maybe find out some breaking news. So all in all, this is one of my favorite weekends of the year. It's a hectic weekend. Thankfully, I have a direct flight tomorrow morning at 6 to Phoenix. I don't have any layovers, which will be a nice change of pace. And I have that also when I come back home Sunday morning. I'm going to see a few friends. I know Cody Barber is going to be down there, and Kenneth Van Heuler is going to be there. So hopefully I'm surprised with a few other faces that I get to see. But all in all, it's a bittersweet weekend because it's the championship weekend, but it also means that another season is coming to an end. But at least I get to take a little break from everything. And let's see what else we've got here. So just trying to think. Question of the day. I guess I should have started the episode with that. But anyway, my free agency announcement video popped up in my memories this last week, and it was really funny because the 1 year anniversary of it, like the day on this day that I posted it, was a day that I was feeling especially discouraged for various reasons. But I was like, wow, like what a crazy year it's been, but I'm still here, you know, in the same spot I was when I made that announcement, except I was facing that way, I think, if I remember right. Anyway, my question of the day before we go ahead and listen to me and Adam's interview and conversation is, where would you guys like to see me end up? It can be any league, can be any team, but I think for sake of realism and right now and near future, let's go ahead and stick with, you know, arena and indoor football. You can also include the XFL. Where you'd like to see me end up as far as city and or team, and my role. What would you like to see me do? And while you guys are thinking on that, I'm going to check the Facebook chat really quickly here. I see that my wife has decided to do her usual spamming here. A new episode of BattleBots tomorrow night. The fight card has been announced. So we can go ahead and check on that real quick. And let's see here. I'm going to bring it up. Yes, there it is. BattleBots fight card for episode 6. We have the bonus fight that will air the following week on the Science Channel is Petunia and Marvin. But this Friday, you get Hypershock and Monsoon, Copperhead versus Gruff, free shipping and Yeti, Ragnarok versus Valkyrie. Let's see, Sidewinder versus Scorpios, Warhawk and Hydra, and finally your main event is the reigning champion Paul Ventimiglia and Bite Force against the bucking Bronco. It's going to be a good one. So for you bot fans, that's what you can look forward to tomorrow night on the Discovery Channel at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And don't forget, today was the last, or I think this weekend is the last weekend for the XFL Showcase, so we're getting closer. They're supposed to announce team names and I think logos as well, maybe colors this month. That'll be good. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we needed to cover today. Thank you guys for the hearts, the faces, whatever. It was quite the variety of different emojis that I just saw come across there. But it's going to be a good weekend, and I am excited for it. And we'll come back Tuesday. We'll talk all about it, and then going to take a little breaky break. So you guys can continue to go ahead and leave stuff in the comments as we approach that time of the evening for my interview with Adam, our number one fan. Number one fan. It's really a three-way tie between him, Reggae Ron Latson from Iowa, and then, of course, Logan up in Alaska. Logan's been with me the longest as far as people that weren't actually part of the inception for the idea of the fan show like Cameron Severns was. And then Ron told me when I made one of my first trips to Des Moines that he never missed an episode, and he plans on never missing an episode. And then, of course, Adam, we met a year ago. Not a year ago today, but this was the time that we actually met face-to-face. I knew of Adam, but I hadn't met him. We met at the United Bowl pregame tailgate. He bought a shirt, and we've been friends ever since. So that's, I think, what I've loved most about doing what I do with the show and the tour in the league every year is being able to have that freedom to go where I want to go and meet the people and build those friendships and make those connections. It's been great, even if nothing, career-wise comes from it. It's still nice to get to know these people. So I thank you all for tuning in on the Facebook Live. Don't forget, if you can't join us on the Facebook Live when we start the show, or if you can't listen live on Spreaker.com, where I'm broadcasting to you live from right now, you need to subscribe so that you never miss an episode or a special, and that is on Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and, of course, Spreaker.com. And then don't forget that you can follow us on all major social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so that you can never be out of the loop, always be included and in the know. Facebook.com/FanShowOfficial. Twitter is @FanShowOfficial. And Instagram is simply The Fan Show. We have a YouTube channel where we post all of our video content, and there will be plenty to come from this weekend. So that's why you should always be following us in some way, shape, or form so that you don't have to miss anything. But the Facebook page really is the most happening spot for The Fan Show right now. And we're going to go ahead and kick it over exclusively to Spreaker. Click that link wherever it is, and you can hear my interview and the debut of Superfan Adam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, joining me now is the Fan Show's first ever top fan. Now, of course, Ron Latson, if you're listening, I know that you're one of my most devoted fans because you listen to every episode. And Logan Winger up in Alaska, you have been with me since the very beginning. But as far as Fan Show officialness goes, Adam did receive the badge of top fan for the Fan Show's Facebook page, and here we are to give a little back, some fan appreciation, is Adam Lamprecht. How you doing, man?
Well, can't complain. I've been fighting a chest cold for the last week and a half, but I think I'm slowly getting over it. But otherwise, I feel pretty good for a Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, it is the Thursday before the United Bowl, which is always kind of the calm before the storm because the day before the United Bowl is Media Day, which will be in about 24 hours from now. We'll sit down with the coaches and the players and hear them, talk about whatever for however long. And of course, the commissioner will be there. He'll say hi, he'll hug some babies and kiss some hands or whatever they do. I don't know how commissioners do it. It's a lot like politics, but just a little different. So he'll kiss some hands, shake some babies, or I'm sorry, he'll kiss some babies, shake some hands because we all love Commissioner Mike Allshouse. But then Saturday is the big day, and I know that you're primarily a Sioux Falls Storm fan, but you are a fan of the league, correct? Like you love all of it when it is going well.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've been a Storm fan, I would say, since 2009, since I moved up to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But I've followed pretty much everything that goes on in the Indoor Football League, as well as a number of other leagues as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of indoor and arena football to enjoy out there, and you have been a fan for a long, long time. You've seen a lot of stuff come and go. Things happen. This is, of course, the time of year where we start to hear rumors and rumblings. But before we get to that, let me get from your own fan perspective, what did you think of the 2019 IFL season? And if you have one, your favorite moment?
I thought the season itself was actually a pretty good season. There was a lot of things that actually really surprised me at the beginning of the year and all the way through the year. There were teams that I thought, okay, they're going to be halfway decent, but wait and see how they do. And then they just completely exceeded my expectations. And there was a lot of great games that went on. One of my favorite moments was in the Denny when Sioux Falls played Iowa, and it was a last-second touchdown pass. It kind of reminded me of it. This will show how old I actually am. It reminded me of the flea kicker from Nebraska, Missouri in 1997, where the one receiver caught it, it bounced out of his hands, and then the other receiver actually caught it. So that was one of my favorite moments of the year, and that whole game was just intense down to the wire.
Yeah, it is those intense ones that we seem to remember because even if you're not a fan of the team that wins, it's like you didn't know who was going to win until the clock finally hit zero. That's what I loved about, we had the game of the year, at least in my opinion, which was Iowa at Nebraska. There were 7 lead changes, and then for that 42-yard touchdown from Neal to Hollenbeck to happen that way. It was just those are the thrillers that I live for. I know that some people, they want their scores in the upper 70s and 80s because this is indoor and arena ball. But that one, the scores were in the 50s, which I think if you can get the scores and keep them in the 40s and 50s, I think that's good fundamental football all around for both teams. And that's just me, though. I love defense.
Well, and I think also what makes the Indoor Football League a little different than, say, I'll name drop the Arena Football League. In the AFL, you don't see a lot of running and a lot of, quick passes to the outside. A lot of times in the Arena Football League, you basically see them just throw a bomb deep and then they come down with it, and that's where you get your high scores. But in the Indoor Football League, you see a lot more running, and it looks more like the outdoor variety that we see in the fall and the winter. And actually what kind of got me more into indoor football when I was younger was one of my head coaches, my senior year of high school, was actually one of the players for the Sioux City Bandits. So that kind of got me into the whole sport as a whole. Plus, when I was in high school, we actually did play 8-man. So I caught on to the game fairly quickly.
Well, that's good to hear, and I think that you made some good points there as far as what we see in the Arena Football League that we don't see in the Indoor League. And a lot of people have really started to kind of enjoy the indoor football rules more because you do see more defense, you do see more running. You see the fundamentals of football. And what the NAL does that I like is they have the deuce kick. I do like, with a shorter field, giving the kickers a little bit more love, but I might be biased because I know a lot of guys that are kickers that would appreciate kind of a larger role with the team to see what they could do to be a difference maker, because a touchdown, depending on how your rules are for the NAL, a touchdown could be up to as many as 9 points if you do the 2-point conversion. And you get the deuce, well, I guess even 10 then. So 9 or 10 points from just the touchdown. And then, of course, the ensuing kickoff, if you're able to make the deuce, certainly makes those what would be 2-possession games a lot more interesting down the stretch. But for the most part, indoor rules, I'm accustomed to. I like it. I like seeing everybody get their share, everybody get their fill. And we will see a culmination of another Indoor Football League season this Saturday. Sioux Falls Storm on the road visiting the Arizona Rattlers, a rematch of 2017's Indoor Football League United Bowl. Were you there for that one? Were you in attendance for that matchup there?
Yep, I was actually in attendance with that one. I went with my friend Ashley from Mankato, who now lives in Quad City, and I actually went with my friend Adam, who we call each other by our last name, Sedavi and Lamprecht. I went with them, and we were actually up in the higher ups for that game, and that was actually really cool because in the Denny you can actually see everything that was going on in that one, and there was a lot of different things I saw during that game that just made me question things, and then there were things that made me frustrated on what was going on, but that's just perspective from a fan that was watching everything unfold.
Yeah, it was a tale of two halves for sure, and then Arizona came out on top, which was so odd because I was there the year prior. Very much had a horse in that race as the Spokane Empire went in to try to knock Sioux Falls off of their throne. And it looked like they might do it in the first 2 quarters, and then for whatever reason, the game the play calling and the game style changed, and then it was a bit downhill for them from there. But they gave it a hell of an effort. But it was weird to me because I had never been where I felt like I was kind of a part of something, right? I had covered the Empire the whole season, and here they get to the championship, which you're like, oh my God, like they're going to the championship, and you're like on cloud 9. And you're there in person to witness this championship, and then they lose. Like it was so humbling to me, so odd. But then, obviously, even though they folded after the following season, I've decided to cover the entire league, and I've had a lot of great experiences with it. I don't really have horses in any races anymore. I tend to side a little bit with the home team if I go out to one of the games for the Fan Show Tour, which is how I met you. Last year's United Bowl pregame tailgate. I knew of you. I knew of you, but I hadn't met you one-on-one in person. You bought a shirt, and sure enough, a year later, here you are on the show as one of the Fan Show's top fans. So it's definitely been a blessing to be able to go around and cover this as freely as I've been able to, and not have to feel like I'm have to be biased because I live somewhere or there's a team in my backyard or that I, am part of this or affiliated with that. It's been very refreshing.
Oh, and exactly. And I remember meeting you guys down in Des Moines, and it was a blast down there, and it blossomed into a good friendship. And it was kind of funny seeing the one day all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're the top fan of the Fan Show. And I was like, oh, wow, I will take that badge with great honor.
Yeah, your comments and your interaction on the Facebook Live, which had been a new thing that I did this season, has always been a lot of fun. And you'll always tell me it straight. You won't sugarcoat things, and I've appreciated that about you, especially when the awards came out and there was certain parties that were not happy about my selections. But, it is what it is, and not all fans are created equal. Some of you guys get along with everybody else just fine, and some of you can't stand the very sight of your Facebook profile picture. So it's a good mix of nuts here in the Indoor Football League nation or family or culture, whatever you want to call it. but obviously good things have come from it. So now we have championship game on Saturday. What have you learned, I guess, as a fan, as a Sioux Falls Storm fan, heading into this game? Like, what do you feel your team needs to do to come out with another championship?
Well, from what I've seen, basically, the defense, I feel, needs to hunker down and try to get turnovers, try to get pressure on Arizona's quarterback. That's one of their big strategies I feel that they need to go with. The offense, I feel that they've actually turned it around these last few weeks, and they've actually done pretty well on offense. Basically, offense, just keep moving the ball. Don't turn it over. Don't make stupid mistakes like don't throw it away, or not don't throw it away. Don't throw it at your receiver's knees or overthrow them. Don't take sacks that are meaningless. Just throw the ball away if you feel like you're in a bad position. But otherwise, I think, yeah, that's kind of what I feel like. The defense, they just need to step it up, make those big plays on defense, get a turnover here and there, get a big stop here and there. Offense, just play good offensive ball. Don't make mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. And I feel that they could possibly win a championship again.
What's your prediction on this? Do you have a score in mind?
Well, if things come out, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for this.
You're crazy. Flack?
I know. I'll probably get flack for this, but if I want to go a final score, I may say Arizona 55, Sioux Falls 50.
Arizona 55, Sioux Falls 50. Wow. So another close one. And
I believe so.
And if you had to pick a moment in the game where the game changed, what do you believe that moment could potentially be? Are we talking a turnover for Sioux Falls as far as Rattler's interception, fumble recovery, a bad snap, or something on special teams, perhaps?
From my experiences, the last few games that I've seen Arizona and Sioux Falls play each other, a lot of times the momentum has changed when there was a turnover, where it was a fumble, or it was an interception, where it could have been a pick six, or even where they may have taken a sack in the wrong place that they shouldn't have taken one. But yeah, and a lot of times I've seen it early in the third quarter or late in the second quarter. I've seen that one play, whether it be a fumble, whether it be an interception, or whether it be just a stop on downs, that is always when it seems like that the momentum changes, and you know that, okay, this is where the tide turns.
I will completely agree with you on that, because I think I used to say for the longest time you had to play mistake-free football in order to beat Sioux Falls. I believe you have to almost play mistake-free football and then some to beat Arizona, and if there's any team capable of doing that, I certainly think that it is Sioux Falls, a battle of two of the best coaches to ever do it in the arena or indoor world, and that's Coach Curtis Riggs and Coach Kevin Guy. So we will see a championship. We will see a champion crowned at the end of it all this Saturday, and Adam, you'll be tuning in, I'm sure, to the Rich Rosti broadcast that you guys have the option of listening to on the YouTube stream. But hey, I am happy that I was able to get you on the show. I feel bad that we didn't do our fan appreciation week like we normally do the last week of the regular IFL season, but I wanted to at least make up for it by having you, the Fan Show official top fan on Facebook, on the show for the first time ever. I hope you enjoyed it.
Hey, not a problem, Richard. I appreciate it, and I actually had a blast. If, like I said before, if my chest cold would have gone away, this would have been a lot more fun.
Fair enough, man. Well, this will be the first of many, I'm sure. So we'll get you again next time, but enjoy your weekend. I know you got one more day of work tomorrow, and then you have the United Bowl and a weekend, so hope that you enjoy all of it. And I'm sure we'll be talking again real soon.
Oh, definitely. Thanks again, Richard.
All right. You're welcome, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one more big thank you to Adam Lamprecht of No Pants Nation is what they call themselves. He's not even Scottish, I found out. He just went to Scotland one year, wore a kilt, and really liked it. It's probably one of the better origin stories of a trend or something about you. You know, some sort of feature or just a special unique detail that I've ever heard. So thank you, Adam, for shedding some light on that. We talked about that before we did the actual interview. I was like, why do you wear a kilt? I was like, you're Scottish, right? Lamprecht, that's Scottish? He's like, no, man, I'm German. I just went to Scotland one year and wore a kilt, and it was really comfortable. So that was good. And I do want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. This was episode 426, and we will be back next week with just one all-new live episode Tuesday, and then we will resume with our regular Wednesday robotics division specials featuring different cast and crew and builders and drivers from this season of BattleBots. But we're going to take a little break, Fan Nation. Daddy needs a break. He just needs to shift to neutral and just let the engine idle for a little bit. So nothing's wrong. Everything is all good up in the Fan Show hood. And it's not official unless it's Fan Show official. And we are officially out of here. And I have an early flight to catch. So I'm going to go make sure I'm packed, get ready for that, and enjoy championship weekend in 112 degrees, Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah, 112 degrees. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, best of luck to you and yours. Go Niners, and remember, of course, it's all fun and games until you butt fumble. Good night.
Do you remember the time that Mark Sanchez ran into his own player's blood? That was funny sports.
Thank you for having me on the show, man. I love the Fan Show.